told there's some real money in the room.
Let's just take it from the top. Why don't we? So where are you originally from?
Man, I'm from Fort Worth, Texas, man. You know, born and raised. You know, Harris Hospital type shit. You know what I'm saying? Grew up on the South Side. You know, Richmond Street. But all over the funk. You know what I'm saying? I've been everywhere, man. All over the city. You know what I'm saying? North Side. Shout out to my North Side. West Side. Shout out to my West Side. You know, East Side, shout out to my East Side, nigga. And I'm from the South Side. Shout out to the South, man. You know what I'm saying? That's what made me, So, I'm born and raised from the city, man. From the dirt of this.
What era would you say you came up in?
The era I came up in, man, I came up in the crack era, man. You know, I came up in the crack era, when that shit first popped off and nobody didn't even probably even know what crack was, you know what I'm saying? I knew what crack was, you know what I'm saying? Just the person who I am, and God let me see certain shit in life that might pertain to my future, you know what I'm saying? Like I say, man, I'm deeper than the ocean. A lot of niggas shallow like a river, man, but I'm deeper than the ocean, deeper than the Atlantic, man, you know what I'm saying? I don't, like to talk about a lot of shit, you know what I'm saying? Like I say, this camera shit new to me, you know what I'm saying? A lot of niggas, they like this camera shit, but so it's certain shit that I wouldn't talk about then that I'll talk about probably now, on a certain extent. But, I grew up in the crack era, man, before like I say, before my even knew what crack was, I knew what crack was. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
When the shit first hit back in 83, 85, you know what I'm saying? Staying in the Talisman apartments, man, you know what I'm saying? What's called now called Autumn Chase, or they done changed the name of it again, But I grew up then, man, when they first started busting on the shit, when the people first got acknowledged of what crack probably was, and that was moving in my apartment that was probably selling this shit, you know what I'm saying? I'm a kid sitting down in the window, eating popsicles and shit, and seeing black suits run in and do the first drug bust that probably ever hit the city, you know what I'm saying? Into some cats that I used to see all the time, wearing these old funny ass freeze hairstyles and dressing funny and shit. They was dope boys. I guess that's how they dressed back then. But, police going in and ramshacking they shit and not confiscating. They weren't even confiscating drugs back then. They would just come in there and fuck up your shit, look for the money and leave, you know what I'm saying? So I see all this shit going on, and I'm curious. It didn't really make raise an eyebrow, but I'm a kid, but I'm seeing this shit happening, of what's really going on.
In
and
real
I see
time.
that it's and after later come to figure out later on in life that it's a drug bust was going on. You know what I'm saying? I seen crack. I'm over there as a kid. After the police leave, I go over there and pick up crack that they done threw all out on the sidewalk, and me not knowing what I'm just picking up. Now, when I started selling was dime rocks. As I got older and started selling, I'm like, damn, that was crack back then that I was picking up as a kid, that the police ramshacked these people shit and just threw the crack all out in the middle of the breezeway. You know what I'm saying? I'm picking up little bitty pieces of white, little shit. All of them almost look like the same size, come to my knowledge later in life that it was crack.
Right. Well, soon after the, how did like the crack affect your childhood growing up?
Well, crack affected my childhood. It didn't really affect it, but it took an effect, if that makes sense.
Make sense.
It really took effect on my life, you know what I'm saying, as far as the lifestyle that it was given, And I can go back and say that it did affect it some kind of way, because I did catch a drug charge, which I ended up having to do prison time on. So yeah, it affected me in some way, but it took an effect on my life too, as far as the lifestyle that I wanted to live, as far as having the nicest shit first,
right?
The flyest clothes first, you know what I'm saying? Giving them a lifestyle on what this shit was bringing to a, you know what I'm saying, to a black man in the
How
hood.
much money do you feel like you were making in a day at the height of everything?
Oh man, different days was different, you know what I'm saying? You had your good days, you had your bad days, but you know, when I first started hustling in the game, you know what I'm saying, I started out as a small, you know what I'm saying, curious nigga with a $50 piece. Like Master P say, my partner gave me $50, put me in the game. I had $50, I started scoring $50 pieces, and I, you know, flipped and flipped and chopped and flipped and chopped and flipped until I worked myself all the way up, you know, to a quarter key, man. My first big score was a quarter key, man. And after I, you know, started scoring that shit, you know what I'm saying, and having money and, you know, for hoes and, you know, having it my way, you know, I can say that, you know, it took effect on me, you know what I'm saying, as far as liking the luxury and the jewels that this shit brought with it, man. Not knowing in the future, you know what I'm saying, it would be an effect of me being away from my family and loved ones, you know, and restarting my life over, you know.
Right. So at some point, like the gangs came. You know what I mean? Soon after the crack came, gangs came. You know what I mean? Particularly to the South Side. A lot of people credit the South Side as one of the main hubs outside of the West Side of gangs in Fort Worth. How did gangs affect the city when you were growing up?
I mean, it was a big epidemic, man, you know, of gang banging, because people that was once friends and grew up as once, you know, childhood friends, you know, that might grow up in the South Side and moved away from the South Side and moved to a different part of the city and have to grow up to where it was reproductive for them over there, you know, it put a strain on us, because it made it seem like we had to acknowledge what was going on as far as to loyalty to how you felt with growing up with a that you knew that just switched sides. I mean, have to move to another neighborhood. So it kind of put a strain on, because we weren't able to just free willingly go out and kick it with the if we saw them out in public, openly speak to the you know what I'm saying, persons that we growed up with, you know what I'm saying, due to a hood change or a color gang bang or whatever it was, you know what I'm saying. So, but the love was always there if you was a real nigga. And that's what always respected me for, as a real nigga, because I don't give a damn about none of this gang banging shit. If I know a nigga that I growed up with and he a blood now, he's still my nigga. That's still my nigga. We had laughs, you know what I'm saying, and just cause I ain't seen him or talked to him since he moved, that's still my nigga, you know what I'm saying. So if I saw out or be beefing, oh, such and such and such, such and such and such, that's whoop whoop de whoop. I'm like, in my mind, that's still my nigga, you know what I'm saying. So, you know, to look at me kind of like, damn, you know what I'm saying. You know, how you feel about that, boo whoop de whoop, that, you know what I'm saying, you know, that's my nigga, you know what I'm saying. But if he ever disrespect me or whoop de whoop, I would have to handle myself accordingly. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and thank God that none of that stuff didn't have to, you know, transpire up out, because, you know, I always carry myself with respect, man. You know what I'm saying? And they know that I'm a real and don't nothing change me. I lead the way wherever I'm at. You know what I'm saying? Whoever around me, I'm going to be the leader. I don't follow nobody. Either have it my way or it. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it was, you know, that's how I roll. You know what I'm saying? So, the gang banging affected a lot of other people, because they was too fake to be loyal to something that they once knew, just because of something what's going on now, and they gotta keep or save faith with a goddamn me saying, oh, you a hoe or this, that, that, and the other. You know what I'm saying? Cause you doing this, or you still got love for this and that. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck about none of that. Them niggas know I fight hard, you know. So, you know, I'm gonna fuck what I fuck with her, you know what I'm saying? Whoop me, which wasn't gonna be easy, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, they just had to roll with it, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna still fuck with who I fuck with, who fuck with me or respect me.
Hey, real tell Tone there's some real money in the room.